Hi, and welcome to the generated application demo. In the last video, we generated an asset management application, and I told you in the next video I would show you how to customize, add data, and add users and roles, etc. So what we'll do is we'll just add a few simple things in here. So let's just add 2 employees first. And if you, again, we have not written any code. This is the same thing that you saw in the previous demo on how we built it. So employee is not the most important screen we have. So for now, I'm just going to add only one employee. I've not added any organization, so that is blank. We'll cover that in a different demo when we add multi-tenant security to it. Now what I can do is come back in here and begin adding assets. An asset, because I have one employee, an asset is connected to employee, I can pick that from drop down. I can give an asset name saying my work laptop or whatever I wanted to call it. Now, since it's the first time we are accessing it and I have the privileges, so I can create different asset types, and I'll show you how you would not be able to, how you can remove the plus button if you don't have the privileges. So right now I have one electronic, again an asset, there's no organization to it. Same thing, I can now define new. An asset is, I can even take asset through a workflow. So the first step is it's a new asset. Second is it's in configuration so that all the system stuff is being done on it. 3 is it's in use. Now let's say that 4 is that it's in maintenance, and it would ping pong between in maintenance and in use over its lifetime, and then it would simply get to end of life, right? So all of that is automatically provided here. This is laptop, and you can put whatever you want in here and simply create. Once you create that asset, it would begin creating the status flow through it. So the screen begins to take life. I can add new maintenance records to the asset because we, in our data model, we didn't really specify very many things, but install company applications is the maintenance, and I can put whatever I want over there and create it. So now my laptop has had one maintenance on it. I can add either my user guide or maintenance document or whatever that I would like to add and have it available with the laptop. Now at any time, if you were to come and change, let's say that it was in configuration and then I also changed it to in use, you can see how a workflow almost is being created over here. And if I was to allocate a new owner, which I don't have, but let's just give it a different owner here. So I've created that, I can add that. As I'm changing data on this asset, I can go into journal and it's tracking everything, including the views on an asset, who viewed an asset and under what role. This is extremely important if you're building a HIPAA compliant application or if you were building for any other compliance or auditing capabilities. All of these audit entries are kept in a different system altogether, a different database. Even an admin cannot come in and modify the data records in here, right? So you get that. Now, when you notice when I came in on the home page, all of this was sort of no value. So I can come in into the admin area, I can go into my profile page, and I can simply modify it to my asset management application. And then you can specify whatever you would like it to be shown there. So it's very similar to how you would work in a portal. Common things like demo, right? You could change the warnings. You could have your own legalese. The SMTP server or the logos that are commonly put on the top can then be modified from here as well. The idea is anything that would require you to touch code, we have tried to avoid that by specifying it in the admin area. And when I bring up the demo slide, the architecture slide, you will see that there's a fair amount of declarative components into the application. So one of the declarative components is of course roles. So you could go in and, for example, add a new role. In this case, let's pretend that I'm doing and creating an asset manager role, a role that's allowed edit privileges. But I want to control exactly what those edit privileges are. So you can come in here and you can, for every table or capability in the system, an asset manager, for example, you may not want him to add, edit employees, but only allow him to view them, right? So you can just select that. In other cases, like an asset, you will want them to add, edit, but not add, edit asset types. So you could remove that. So the plus buttons on the screen would automatically go away. The self-service basically means that if I own an asset, only then will you allow me to edit it. So I cannot edit assets that are owned by anybody else. You could add new verbs like bulk, for example. If you wanted to give somebody ability to create bulk updates or bulk deletes, you could just provide those privileges as well right from here. Okay, so let's save that. That's one of the capabilities. The other one is you can also provide field level security. So a user can decide that he can see this particular role cannot see the price of an asset, but can see other things in there, if you will. If we had a lot more, let's pretend that we have thousands of assets in here. You could then do something interesting where you could come in and define a new query in there and say, show me all the assets owned by, in this case, Mukul, that are of type electronics, that are in the status of maintenance, and or were acquired between this date and this date, and then you could build a report right from here. And once, right now I have no assets in my name because we modified that to Gitanjali's name. So let's just do that. And when I say run, it's going to run that and give me a list. Now, if I'm going to work on this list often, I can set it as a favorite and come here. Or if it's a longer lasting thing, I can do a save, and then it would save my query and I can come back anytime. Now, with one data record, it won't make a powerful demo to show graphs, but it would, based on your data model, in this case, you would do graphs by owner, graph by asset type, etc., and asset status. All of that would get created automatically. Then let's see, what that sort of summarizes what gets built. And then the complexity really is in this screen, where you could define your own business rules. Like, for example, you could come in and define assets over 100,000 should send an email. So I could, for example, select an asset. When an asset is updated or its property is changed, if we had a price property, we would say if that property is greater than this, then, or if I say on read only, on end of life, make the asset read only. I could do that. I could simply notify by email. I could invoke a webhook to invoke action in another application. This forms the most powerful feature of otherwise what you might have felt was a CRUD application. So we automatically launch the application. We have not written any code, and we can go on customizing this. Another aspect of customization, which is actually interesting, is we bought a theme from a commercial system out on the web, and we simply applied it here. So this is mainly to show how quickly an application look and feel can be modified right in front of by just clicking a couple of buttons, if you will. and the whole operating behavior of the application sort of gets modified. So that's the summary of the generated application in Turanto. Thank you for watching, and next demo would be about the mobile application generated with the product. Thank you.